The Book of Mormon comics guy. It is the 25th of March, 2019, so that is a leap year and a day away from publication and for sale. And I just want to give you a little update on what's been going on. So over the weekend, I just I wrote down my thoughts on Lehi and his family so that the artist could do the character designs. So I'm just going to read what I've got. I can't show you the pictures because I don't have the time to make that kind of video, but here it is. Lehi is the father of 4 sons, Laman, Lemuel, Sam, and Nephi. Right? The artist is not a member of the church, and he's not familiar with the Book of Mormon. Sariah is Lehi's wife and mother of the aforementioned boys. More on that. As they are a family that must be kept in mind when sketching them, the boys will have some resemblance of their father and mother. They're in Jerusalem, 600 BC. Each should have sandals. All men have hair that covers their necks, but it's not much longer than that. Each of the men need to have different color scheme for their clothes. The color scheme of their clothes and facial hair is going to be major ways to tell them apart because they're going to have similar skin tone and hair color. Because Nephi is writing this history down as a middle-aged man, I need to have a young Nephi and an old Nephi. Okay, so Lehi, these are my thoughts on Lehi. 45-ish years old at the beginning, a strong and wealthy man, tall, broad shoulders, full beard, and mustache. Black and gray on either side, right? I don't think he was old enough to have like this all gray beard, which is what he's depicted as in a lot of the other art. I think he's going to be a little younger than that. And guess what? It's not like super scripturally important, so it's just a different. So his skin tone is darker because he's Mediterranean, and his learning is the language of the Egyptians and the learning of the Jews, right? So he's lived in Jerusalem his whole life, but his language is more Egyptian than it is Hebrew. So I'm just leaning towards, oh, he's more Egyptian and he's going to have a darker skin tone. All right, his wealth is great and needs to be reflected in the manner of his dress until he's called to leave Jerusalem. His headband should have gold lacing in it, as should the color of his tunic and robe. His wealthy clothes must have many vibrant colors. A second sketch is his traveling clothes, which are much simpler, natural tones, no signs of wealth, same beard, and has a traveling staff, which is going to kind of play out in some of the pictures. And then my buddy, Kevin Albrecht, if you see this, that's why I took your picture. Like, your beard is the model for Lehi's beard. So Kevin's got gray right here and dark right here and kind of salt and pepper in the middle. And then Sariah, she's young, middle-aged, 35 to 40, shorter than Lehi by a fair bit, needs to have some clothes that would be practical for traveling, but she's not used to traveling, so she doesn't have any like traveling clothes, whereas Lehi probably did. And then her skin is going to be fair just because she doesn't spend time in the sun. All right, Laman, he's going to be a tall, skinny fellow, carries a long riding crop, and that's going to be, yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Doodly-doo. And then just kind of ideas on what they should wear. Kind of a short sleeve. Laman's going to have an armband that Lehi is going to trade for supplies on their travel down to the Red Sea, right? Because it's 10 days between Jerusalem and the Red Sea. And then once they get there, then it's 3 more days in the wilderness. He's going to trade that for supplies. Facial hair is scruffy, thin mustache. Again, darker skin. And then this one was kind of just like maybe it could be, and I'm not at all sure, and it's not scriptural, and there's no evidence, and blah. But Lemuel and Sam, I'm making them twins. So they're going to be like the same height, same face shape. They're going to have different facial hair, different color schemes. But the reason I'm doing that is so Lemuel would be like 5 minutes older than Sam. But in the Bible, there are twins that are, the birthright child was the first one out, and it caused a lot of grief. I think it's Jacob and Esau. And so Lemuel and Sam, and just kind of that juxtaposition of like, it's not really an age difference. Lemuel is caving in to Laman, who is moaning and groaning, complaining, and like questioning the Lord. But Sam is willing to listen to Nephi, even though they're only like a short time apart. So they're going to be a little shorter than Lemuel and a little bit stockier, and their facial hair is going to be a little different. blah. Give me your thoughts on that. And then Nephi, so young Nephi is like 14, right? 14 to 16. He refers to himself as a man in Nephi chapter 4 when he tackles Zoram. But man, up until, like the 20s or something, a man was anybody who'd hit puberty. And he was exceedingly young, but he's tall in stature. And so he's going to be about as tall as his mom. And no facial hair. And again, darker skin, right? So like they're coming out of Jerusalem. They've lived in that part of the world where almost everybody just has like black hair. And then I'm kind of leaning towards like they're darker in the skin. Now there's going to be some comments about like, what, it says fair skin. And I'm not going to lie. Like if you are from a darker, like if you're not Caucasian and somebody's fair skinned, like they could be much darker than me and still be fair skinned. Which is just fine. And Nephi is speaking from his perspective, and he's also speaking after coming to the Americas and living here for 30 years, right? He's writing back in history, and he's like, this is what happened. So if the people that he was used to living with, and like Laman and Lemuel are like getting these super dark tans. Anyway, I don't want to there's a lot of thoughts on that one. And then older Nephi, if you look at the first 5 pages in the previous video, I said like he needs a beard, right? Has a short, well-kept beard, has grown as tall as Laman and is broader than his father, wears a studded leather belt and leather armbands, solid muscle, and has a scar on his left arm above the elbow. Why? I don't know. Just I feel like good guys need scars sometimes. Like it's always the bad guys that have scars. But Nephi says he led his people into battle, and he probably didn't just do battle and not get any wounds. And so like I would like to have some kind of physical manifestation that he's actually been a warrior. So this is a really long video. Holy cow, I didn't realize it was going to be that long. But give me your thoughts, right? If there's scripture evidence of something that I got wrong, please let me know. If you have a different thought, just like, hey, why are you doing Lehi as 45 instead of 70? Because everybody else does him as 70. Ask, and I will be happy to answer your questions. I love you tons. Thank you for the support. God bless, and I will see you around.